If you thought the rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese was limited to basketball, you're mistaken. It's now becoming a spectacle that spans the entire city.
I'm just going to point it out for all of you. This is Angel Reese's home stomping grounds, by the way. So moving to Baltimore.
Everyone is talking about the Washington Mystics' recent decision to move their home games against Clark's Indiana Fever to Baltimore, Maryland, Angel Reese's backyard. To be honest, the Mystics are using this as a calculated financial ploy, but Reese's admirers are going crazy over it. No matter how you look at it, this decision is setting up complete WNBA chaos, and we're really here for every second of it. The real question is, though, why not simply move the game to Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C., like they did last season? Did the Mystics purposefully put Reese in a position where she could become overlooked in her own hometown?
Official release, straight from the NBA website, man. Indiana Fever 2025 road games at Mystics moved to Baltimore. So, Angel, man, I mean, listen, y'all made a big deal 2 weeks ago about a Caitlin Clark billboard being put up in Chicago.
The emotions from Angel Reese's fans are priceless, and they are in full panic mode. This season, Caitlin Clark will be taking center stage in Reese's hometown twice, and her fans' meltdown is going to be hilarious. The WNBA is getting a first-hand glimpse at what true star power looks like, and Baltimore is about to experience it firsthand. What you're experiencing is the Caitlin Clark effect at full throttle, and spoiler alert, it has nothing to do with Angel Reese's outrageous antics.
But her attention, her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark. Because she wins the national title, first thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark. And then she doesn't even celebrate with her teammates. So she's made it personal with Caitlin Clark. Then she's played off of that.
The WNBA has been waiting for an undisputed star who draws crowds and delivers real excitement. And I'm sorry that excitement isn't coming from Reese's exaggerated celebrations after a 5-point, 10-rebound night. Chicago fans already got a preview of this when Clark played there earlier. The energy in the arena was electric. Every seat was full, and the hype was through the roof. But let's face it, fans weren't there to watch Angel Reese struggle off the field and overreact to routine plays.
It's been hard for me, but adjusting and just kind of have that mindset of just moving on has been something I try to give myself a little bit of grace.
Now, when Clark on the court at home, it acts as a terrible reality check for Sky supporters who somehow think Angel Reese is the new face of the WNBA. Reese's fans have been hyping her up as the next big thing for months, but the truth is that you can't be the face of the league if no one outside of your fan base cares. Rhea only garners attention when she gets into a controversy, misses easy shots, or makes fun of other players. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is breaking records, selling out arenas, and attracting a whole new audience to the sport.
There's a very thin line between hate and facts. And what I believe to be the case is that there was incremental growth in the WNBA comparatively to the exponential growth we are seeing now. What I'm about to tell y'all, I haven't heard before, so I doubt you have either. Before the 2023 season, the WNBA had grown by 40% viewership from 2022 to 2023. But with Caitlin Clark's arrival, it's grown by 400% viewership. What that means.
And the irony, even Reese's biggest fans must acknowledge what the rest of us have known all along. Caitlin Clark is the reason the WNBA is thriving. Prior to her joining the league, attendance was inconsistent, TV ratings were low, and national interest was waning. Now, arenas are packed, broadcasts are setting records, and every team wants to share in Caitlin Clark's success. Let's face it, though, it's not because Angel Reese is posting respectable numbers against weaker opponents. Rather, it's because Clark is a generational player who makes every game must-watch.
You know, a lot of people say that Caitlin Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. She is the needle. she dictates. We all know what she's done on the floor. It's history, right? But off the floor, my goodness, she and the Indiana Fever accounted for 45% of all the broadcast value of the WNBA last season. She accounted also for helping drive the numbers of merchandising up 500%. Of course, her jersey was number one.
Chicago supporters are desperately clinging to the idea that Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are having the same conversation. But let's face it, Reese is playing hard, no question, but there is a huge difference between being a true franchise and being a high-energy role player. Clark is casually draining logo threes, threading impossible passes, and creating viral highlights every game. Foundation the WNBA is a business, so the answer is clear when it comes to the player who is selling tickets, jerseys, and receiving enormous TV ratings. And here's a hint, it's not the one showing off after a simple layup.
Yeah, let me tell you about Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark has brought so many eyes to women's basketball that it's amazing. A dude named Acho, I forgot his first name, is something Acho.
Emmanuel Acho.
Yeah. He showed how in 5 days before the draft, she made the WNBA more money than they would have made in the next 5 years without.
Fans aren't the only ones finding it difficult to embrace this new reality. The Chicago Sky organization is also under pressure to market Angel Reese as their franchise star, but every time she enters their arena, Caitlin Clark completely takes over. The sold-out crowds, the soaring jersey sales, the highlight reels that take over social media, everything revolves around Clark, while Reese's fan base is trying to figure out what's going on. They say she's great for the culture, but the last time we looked, cultural influence doesn't sell out stadiums on its own.
Jeez. Man. Y'all were mad about that billboard a couple of weeks ago, the Reese's Pieces were. I mean, I just... This is going to annoy Angel. I know it is. And I know that they had to because the MCI Center, whatever, Verizon Center is under renovation. But still.
What do TV ratings and ticket sales mean? And how does Caitlin Clark surpass everyone else in achieving both? After seeing what Clark has done for Indiana, WNBA clubs are quickly catching on and want a piece of the action. This league has never experienced this amount of national buzz before, and let's face it, it has nothing to do with Angel Reese snatching rebounds. Clark's presence turns routine regular season games into momentous occasions, converting onlookers into diehard followers while Reese's fans watch as their favorite loses ground to the sport's biggest star.
They're going to say, see ya there. Now, the Indiana Fever stated, venue change, our regular season game on May the 28th. On September 7th at the Washington Mystics are moving to CFG Arena in Baltimore, bruh. So as y'all can see here, say game location change, CFG Bank Arena, Baltimore, Maryland. CFG Bank Arena, Baltimore, Maryland. Somebody said, could it be the Mystic owner doesn't want the Caitlin Clark shine to be seen again?
And
It's funny how one player keeps coming up with excuses while the other just keeps getting better game after game, which is why she's the most influential player the WNBA has seen in years. Let's talk about the never-ending list of reasons why Reese performs poorly. Initially, it was that she's young, then it was that she needs more time, and now it's that she's still adjusting. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is getting double and triple teamed hacked on almost every play and continues to put up elite numbers.
The preseason game, Brazil versus the preseason game against the Brazilian national team sold out in 36 minutes, 15,000 fans. There's tickets for that game upwards of $4,500.
Reese's fan base is incredibly confused, and it's amusing. They're asking why Angel doesn't receive the same star treatment and why teams don't go out of their way to help her. The simple answer is that she does in every city where Caitlin Clark performs becomes a must-see spectacle fever, with ticket sales skyrocketing and opposing teams literally moving venues to accommodate the insane demand to see her play. Meanwhile, Reese's fans are left scratching their heads, wondering why her games aren't drawing the same frenzy. Clark is selling out 10,000-seat arenas in record time.
All over. I mean, a lot of these tickets are crazy. But I'm just like, it's not even about the price for me. I'm just thinking about, like, I'm comparing the Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky, because they said that it was like Me Too. Like, you guys are watching women's basketball because of Me Too. I mean, bro, everybody could get into this. Like, literally everybody could get into this game.
The unmatched league experiment has already demonstrated that when Clark isn't involved, the enthusiasm just isn't the same. In other words, no teams are hurrying to secure larger facilities to fulfill the tremendous demand for tickets, and nobody is shifting their games for Angel Reese. The fact is indisputable, despite Reese's admirers' insistence that everyone should bend down and treat her like basketball royalty. While Reese is left playing catch-up and making the most noise without producing the same results, Clark is on another level. People aren't vying for tickets to see Reese, and teams aren't being forced to expand arenas just to catch a glimpse of her on the court. That's the difference.
Angel Reese may be playing in the league, but who wants to see a goofy 6'6" woman miss layups? Not I.
Let's also talk about Sheila Johnson, the owner of the Washington Mystics, who truly believed she was making a statement when she spoke about Caitlin Clark. She stood in front of the cameras and insisted that the media give attention to the fact that Clark wasn't the only player who deserved it. She attempted to frame it as supporting the WNBA's underappreciated stars. A few weeks later, the Mystics are suddenly moving their games to a larger arena, and the reason for this is Caitlin Clark CL. Let's get this straight when it's convenient. The story, the contradiction is absurd. If this was really about promoting all WNBA players equally, why weren't they moving stadiums and selling out games earlier? Oh, that's right, because Angel Reese and the rest of the league weren't attracting crowds like this. Clark is just another player, nothing special, right? Then ticket sales start to soar, and all of a sudden she's the best thing that's ever happened to the Mystics.
So the Washington Mystics owner Sheila Johnson goes on CNN and says that the entire WNBA should have been put on the cover of Time magazine. It is hard to get away from this conversation because it just keeps making national news. And to be frank, I've never seen a story in the WNBA get as much widespread coverage as this is getting. I honestly can't wait until the season's back in so we can get more about basketball talk. But back to this.
So last night we read Time magazine where Caitlin Clark was named Athlete of the Year. Why couldn't they have put the whole WNBA on that cover and said the WNBA is the league of the year because of all the talent that we have? Because when you just keep singling out one player, it creates hard feelings.
Sheila, you lecture about the media giving other athletes more attention 1 minute, and then you're counting down the number of Caitlin Clark tickets sold, as if you've won the lottery. The WNBA would be making NBA-level profits by now if they made a single penny every time someone disparaged Clark while covertly profiting from her success. It's the same pattern over and over, to brush her off as overhyped, then turn around and ride the wave of sold-out games and record-breaking viewership. Now, the same people who rolled their eyes at her impact are abruptly changing their entire marketing strategy to take advantage of the Caitlin Clark effect.
But I've got a theory that Sheila Johnson is trying to do two things here. Number one, she's trying to screw Indiana Fever fans and Caitlin Clark fans. 6,000 less tickets available. Number two, while lining her pockets even more. Now, you might be like, well, Rhodes, I don't get it. Well, it's simple. Less tickets means the gate prices, all right? The gate prices for the game will actually go up. In other words, just like that preseason game, they got has got tickets for $4,500. A run-of-the-mill game like this, even we all know Caitlin Clark tickets are expensive.
So, Sheila, let's be honest. You can talk all day about giving other players more credit, but you know in your heart who is really driving things, which is why your team is relocating games to larger arenas and why you're pursuing this revenue increase. Caitlin Clark is more than just a passing fad. She represents the league's future. You can continue to reject it if you like, but don't stop making money while you can.
Caitlin Clark doesn't just move the needle, she is the needle. And if you need any more proof of that, the Indiana Fever exhibition game sold out in just about 30 minutes.
Even though her first Indiana Fever preseason game against Brazil sold out in an hour due to her immense popularity, some people continue to wonder why she's receiving so much attention and whether they need a detailed explanation. This isn't really difficult. Since Clark is a generational talent, the WNBA has never seen such a high demand for her. Fans didn't just buy tickets, they overloaded the system. Meanwhile, other WNBA players are practically pleading with fans to attend their games, as if they were giving away free barbecue plates at a get-together. Let's face it, no one is more disconnected from reality than Angel Reese's fanbase, who actually believe that she should be given the same amount of excitement as Clark, which is equivalent to expecting a cover band to sell out Madison Square Garden. Fans of Clark's who had never watched women's basketball before are now following every record, viral clip, and fever game. Not so much Reese.
The reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Every time Clark takes the court, she is demonstrating her status as the WNBA's biggest star, and the numbers support it. It's an occasion that garners national media attention, packed arenas, and lines of fans waiting to get a glimpse. Meanwhile, Reese's fans are acting as though she should receive the same response because she once intimidated Clark because she plays on TikTok, but that's not enough. Clark's dominance speaks for itself. She's Reed finding the game raise. She's just another player.
Some hundreds in there. Don't play with them. There's some hundreds in there. Do not play with the Chicago Sky. There are hundreds in there. You see this? Okay. Oh, here goes the Indiana Fever. Wow.
While Reese fans are still out there trying to convince people that she is on Clark's level, newsflash, she isn't. One player is selling out arenas in minutes while the other isn't even close. Clark is drawing comparisons to all-time legends, shattering viewership records and forcing networks to reconsider how they cover women's basketball. Clark is the one who is revolutionizing the game. Her casual fans are devoted, NBA players are applauding her, and children want to be like her. That is true star power.
But yeah, it's a big situation again. Like Caitlin Clark selling out Iowa, sold out a preseason game. People saying it sold out in 40 minutes. This is within 20 minutes. Like obviously you couldn't get onto the damn website. It's sold out. You could have been trying to refreshing the page and not got tickets. Most of the time, it officially sold out in 40 minutes, but like realistically, it almost crashed the website.
Meanwhile, Reese followers are behaving as though she is being held back by some grand plot. But let's face it, the fact is straightforward. People are buying jerseys and selling out arenas raised because of Caitlin Clark, who is the reason the league is flourishing. The reason the figures don't lie and the fans are aware of what's occurring is because she causes arguments on Twitter. Clark's fan base can continue to cope, but reality won't change anytime soon. They can throw tantrums, post thought pieces on social media, and promote the idea that Angel is the WNBA's face all they want. But reality doesn't give a damn about sentiments. Go ahead and yell into thin air about unfair treatment or keep telling yourself it's all media hype. None of it alters the facts. Caitlin Clark is here, and every metric, attendance, ratings, and fan engagement supports it. Do you agree that Caitlin Clark is in control and that Angel Reese is simply another player witnessing history play out in front of her? If so, please let us know in the comments by subscribing and turning on all notifications so you don't miss anything. We'll see you in the next one after you click the video on the screen.